This is the 241st consecutive sellout at Chicago Stadium, better than 18,000 on hand. And the Bulls turning it on in the second quarter, led by Michael Jordan, lead the Portland Trailblazers by 15. Jordan opens up with Paxson in the backcourt, Cartwright, Grant, and Pippen on the front line. Paxson, yes. John Paxson hitting on his first field goal, and it's Chicago 68 and Portland 51.
You know, that was a set play coming out of half. They wanted to get John involved, ran a double pick for him, and came off shooting a jump shot.
Percy. High-point men for Portland. Cliff Robinson with 14, and Terry Porter with 13. Cartwright. So Bill Cartwright with his first field goal. For the Bulls, only Michael Jordan in double figures. Scottie Pippen with 8, Horace Grant with 6, A.J. Armstrong, Scott Williams each 6 points.
You see the Chicago Bulls defense up overplaying, denying Portland, forcing him to pop out deeper to start their offense.
And off that bucket by Drexler, the Bulls now lead 70-53. Minute and a half gone by in the third quarter. Cartwright getting the good position, then threw back out to Pippen. Paxson checked the clock. Grant.
The difference in the Chicago offense compared to the difference in the Portland offense is the fact that Chicago is taking their time. They're running through all the options. When the first option breaks down for Portland, though, they go to a one-on-one and take bad shots from going to the one-on-one, where Chicago flows in their offense.
And that's one of the things they wanted to stop, was the quick shot type of thing. The jump ball that time produced by the excellent defense of Grant, timing it, getting it from behind.
During the course of the playoffs, following the series against Miami, Chicago sweeping by Miami in 3, we have rarely seen the Chicago Bulls. Pippen off the break. What a recovery by Pippen, because the ball was knocked away, but Pippen was able to get it back, and Portland wants to talk it over.
When you can get easy scores off a jump ball situation, it's such an advantage. You take advantage of every opportunity presented to you, the Chicago Bulls. Scottie Pippen on his way to a triple-double right now. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. At the end of this layup, watch how he almost loses the ball right there. But those big hands hold on just long enough to guide it in. The soft touch by Scottie Pippen.
Going back to the latter stage of the second quarter, over the last 8 minutes, Chicago has outscored Portland 27-8. And they have this big lead, 74-53. Another Portland turnover. Paxson open. Yes. So the Bulls now lead 76-53.
And Chicago got the Trailblazers where they want them. Just playing random offense and turnover again. Here comes Pippen.
And another 24 for Chicago. Jordan for 3. And it comes back to Paxson. And now Jordan being guarded by Porter. Here's Pippen. Yes, and it counts.
Pippen has the mismatch. No way Duckworth can play him off the dribble. Pippen shows him this is the way to the basket, big guy.
But credit Horace Grant with this move because Horace Grant moved out of the post for him. That enabled the lane to open up, but Scottie Pippen can take it down and score the layup.
It's the recognition of teammates when there's a mismatch. Wait a minute, there's the guy with the ball. Pippen guarded by Duckworth. Open it up. Let him have the lane.
Three-point play for Pippen. And the Bulls have outscored the Trailblazers 13-2 in this third quarter. Robinson. Now Jordan being played by Kersey. Michael Jordan with his first field goal of the third quarter. He now has 37. That was a three-point attempt. It just gets worse and worse for the Trailblazers.
Well, they're not going inside. See, they stand on the outside trying to shoot jumpers, and they're not falling. You got to pound that ball inside, try to get some foul, try to slow this momentum that the Chicago Bulls have, and they're not doing that.
Jordan. Bulls with an 81-53 lead. Here's Robinson. He drew the foul. Called on Williams. Well, in this third quarter, Rick Adelman has been going with different people match against Michael Jordan. It is no longer Clyde Drexler.
You know, we had heard in the build-up prior to the game that is Michael Jordan going to be worn out having to play somebody like Clyde Drexler? What's it going to do to his offensive game? Well, what's happened is Michael Jordan's offensive game is right at the top of itself, and if there's anybody right now who should have a concern, okay, with the matchup situation, Rick Adelman now has made a change, and whether or not this is a statement that he will continue to do throughout the series remains to be seen, but certainly Drexler was not the right guy in that half to be playing Michael Jordan.
Well, not only do they have bad matchups there with Michael Jordan, but right now they have a bad matchup with the Chicago Bulls team because they're not affecting anything that the Chicago Bulls are doing right now, especially offensively. They're moving through the lane just easy. They're not getting bumped, hit, anything.
Shot clock at 4. Chicago ball. And it will be Chicago ball with 1 on the 24. Williams. Scott Williams did well to get off the shot, and then he got the benefit of the friendly rim. 83-55 Chicago. Buck Williams is fouled. He'll go to the line. The Bulls have outscored the Trailblazers now 17-4 in this third quarter.
You know, I want to go back to that matchup of Drexler on Jordan for a second. It's not to say that Clyde, okay, wasn't trying to do a good job. I don't care who they would have had on Michael Jordan in that first half. Jordan was on a roll. He was in a bubble, and it just happened to be Clyde was the guy that was guarding him in the first half. That doesn't mean you chuck that out for the rest of the series because you come out another game and the guy digs in and does a good job on the other end. So you stay with what you know best. Rick Adelman knows his team better than anybody else. He'll make those decisions in the end.
But right now, they're not going about getting back in this game the right way. You got to pound that ball inside. I don't care what happens. Get it inside, make things happen that way instead of shooting jumpers. Nobody's hitting for them outside, so let's go inside.
And Pippen's pass picked off by Williams. Now Drexler picked up by Grant. Rejected by Grant. Drexler off the recovery. Clyde Drexler with only his 5th field goal. He has 12 points. And that last touch by Portland.
So going back to Magic's inside statement, there's only certain ways you can stop a run and stop the clock. One way is if you get fouled to go to the free throw line, it stops the run.
Michael Jordan off a set play on the inbound. So Jordan with 39, and the Bulls lead 85-58. It is another Blazer turnover.
Marv, I'm going to just keep my VCR on, because when that tape is done tonight and my baby is born, I'm going to just pull it out and say, this is Michael Jordan. I'm introducing my son or daughter to Michael Jordan on this game tonight.
And the foul is called when your baby is born.
That's right, soon.
Out of bounds underneath. If you turn your head for a second, Jordan will back cut you, go to the rim. It's just a matter of lobbing the thing up on top. They love starting Michael in the middle of the lane, and then he operates from there.
Are we looking at momentary? Scottie Pippen with 15 points. Bulls now lead 87-58.
Jordan in the middle of the lane. There's the back cut. Starts right, goes left. The lob, perfect.
Here's Ainge for three. Robinson rejected. And Pippen puts it down. Well, this has reached the point of embarrassment for Portland. They are being blown away here in the third. 5:23 remaining.
A few moments ago, the lob to Michael Jordan. Here's how they set it up. The two big men set screens. Normally, Paxson runs his man off the screen. Then Jordan comes off the double looking for a jump shot. But this time, when Paxson goes, Jordan fakes, back cuts, goes to the front of the rim. Here goes Paxson around the double. The fake, change of direction, on the money with the lob. The timing is perfect by Michael Jordan. From a different angle, down low, Pippen's the guy throwing the pass. Jordan's the one making the play happen.
So the Bulls with an 89-58 lead. 5:15 to go in the third. Portland now with Porter and Ainge in the backcourt. An offensive foul has been called. It's on Drexler. That's 3 on Clyde.
Can there be anything more frustrating than taking a timeout, setting up a play, telling your team to execute, you come out and you get an offensive foul on a screen?
Well, let's give the Bulls credit. The way you beat Portland is to get them in a game like this, where they have to think, they have to make decisions, and usually they come up with poor decision making, and they've done that throughout this game. Poor decision, tip in right there by Williams, but they've been frustrated. Turnovers and jump shots, that's all they've been doing. Turn the ball over, taking jump shots, and the Bulls been transferring that into points on the offensive end.
Scott Williams is now 5 for 5 for 10 points. Loose ball foul has been called on Paxson. Let's go over to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Marv. I'm joined now by James Jordan, and we have talked about Michael being focused in the past, but today, this is ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you, today this kid has shown that he eat his Wheaties, drink his Gatorade, and he's wearing his Hanes underwear.
There is a very nice commercial for all those three products. Back to you, Marv.
I don't know, is James collecting the fees also?
Exactly. He was in the Hanes commercial, so he knows he's got to get a part of that check, some of that money.
Scott Williams called for the foul is 4. But Magic, of most significance, you dropped the point a moment ago. Your wife Cookie is due, I guess, momentarily, so you have the VCR set. And this will be the first thing that the new addition to the family will see. Michael Jordan's performance in the first half.
That's right. And within a week or so, we'll have the baby, and I'm going to throw that tape right in there.
I'm sure.
While I'm sitting there watching, he or she will be sitting there watching.
You realize that the voice of the czar will be very, very scary for a youngster. Down to 4:15 remaining in this third quarter, and the Bulls lead by 31. off the steal. Pass behind Porter, so it slows it down. He fires one up, an air ball from downtown. And here's Porter again. Out of control sequence for Terry Porter.
If the fans are wondering why the press and other people keep talking about decision making, well, there was a bad decision. You shoot a jump shot with nobody back, pull the ball out, run a play, because you're down over 30 points, so you got to run a play now.
In effect, you got to get back into your normal sequence, even if you're trailing by 30 points.
Exactly.
And here comes Jordan. Armstrong with the pull-up. The Bulls lead 93-60. Crowd wanted to travel on Drexler. Porter shooting the three. Loose ball foul on Robinson.
Long rebounds take place when you're not shooting well and when you pull up and shoot quick perimeter shots. As a result, the Chicago Bulls, who have one of the best sets of point guard, two-man, three-man, can get out and fill the lanes. They're always running back at you when you're not making your jumpers.
The hand for Scott Williams, replaced by Stacey King, making his first appearance. So Scott Williams continues to excel in the playoffs. Williams with 10 points. He's hit 5 of 5 from the field. Pippen going to his left. Yes, and it counts.
When Chicago plays pick and roll basketball, it's supposed to be an aggressive double team, almost a trap, but you see Pippen gets a clear path to the basket. There was no trap. He was not forced to pick up the dribble. He got a good look, split, took it to the hole.
Standing ovation for Michael Jordan. I'm wondering if we will see him on the floor anymore this evening.
I doubt it. Up 36 right now. It looks like you're going to go into the fourth quarter up, being up 30 or more unless something happens in this next 3 minutes. So I doubt if you'll see him back again.
Jordan with 39 points. An NBA Championship Series record, 35 in the first half. And Pippen was fouled. The Bulls have outscored the Blazers here in the third quarter, 30-9. Robinson called for his fifth, and it puts Portland over the limit. So Pippen will shoot a pair. Michael Jordan, 16 for 26, 6 for 10 from three-point range. The 10 attempts from downtown is a record for an NBA Finals game. And Scottie Pippen is only 1 rebound away from a triple-double. A very nice stat line.
Now you want to know what the difference is between the last 2 series that the Bulls played in this series is the fact that when they went to the basket on Cleveland or New York, they got fouled, and instead of being able to put it in for a three-point play, they just went to the free throw line, and that was a good move right there by Jerome Kersey. And in this series, they're able to go to the free throw line, I mean in this game right here, and not get hard fouls and continue to make the basket, just like there. Not a hard foul, a reach-in foul by Jerome on Pippen, and he scored the basket anyway.
Once again, Scottie Pippen with an opportunity for a three-point play.
That in-between game, take it off the dribble, but then know when to pull up because the defense rotates over and stops you short. You must have the in-between game in the NBA.
And with Jordan going to the bench, Pippen has scored 5 straight points, and that's what the Bulls usually want to do, go to Pippen when Michael Jordan sits down.
The Bulls 100 and the Blazers 62 as we approach 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. A blowout in game 1 of his best of 7. So Duckworth able to convert.
If you just look back for a second, the way Chicago defended the pick and roll, they've got Portland backing up all the time, not attacking. When Chicago plays pick and roll, Portland tries to trap it. Chicago takes it to the basket strong.
Armstrong. Percy lost to King with a steal. And Stacey King hears it from the crowd. Here's Hansen. Started to make the point earlier that for the first time in a long while, as Drexler was fouled, we are seeing the Chicago Bulls that were seen throughout the regular season. Regular season that saw them win 67 and lose 15. And a Bulls club that we saw during the course of the playoffs a year ago.
Well, when you get into this free-flowing game, this is where the Bulls are at their best. See, and they're not getting a hard foul. The Portland Trailblazers are not trying to dictate tempo. They're running down and playing right into the Bulls' hands by taking quick shots. So now you're seeing the Bulls instead of the Chicago Bulls.
He's got it wrong, doesn't he? Okay.
And this is what he gets the big bucks for? Magic watching too much Saturday Night Live, I think. A minute remaining. In this third quarter, the Bulls 100, the Blazers 66. And Jake O'Donnell with the call away from the ball. Pushing foul.
When you're down 34 points with an entire quarter to go, do you try and shake it up a little bit, maybe throw your full court press, your half court trap on, try to get a little run going for yourself, or you just basically sit back and think you're going to be able to dig it out man to man, defensively?
Right now, fourth quarter, what the Blazers should do is try to get into something now, try to see what can work for us on Friday night. Run our offense to get ready for Friday. That's the only thing they should be concerned with. Try to get ready for Friday.
The largest margin of victory in an NBA Final Series game. Washington beat Seattle by 35 back in June of 78, 117-82. The Bulls here lead it by 35.
Robert Pack, the rookie point guard, decided he was going to be an offensive rebounder that time. He's got to learn you must cover the backcourt for your team. Oh, yeah. No one back. The Bulls are going to fill the lanes, and this time instead of Pippen, you've got your 6'10" power forward Grant scoring at the end.
And they say, yeah, 2 points for me.
Robert Pack, the rookie from University of Southern California, checking in. Pack rejected by Pippen. And the foul is called on Portland.
Personal foul 22 on Drexler.
It's on Drexler. That is his fourth.
Now, I seem to remember somewhere where a team one time in the playoffs got blown out real big in a certain game, and they had to come back, and I think they were able to do it. Is that?
I thought I was going to say that story to the fourth quarter, but now that you mentioned that, the Boston Massacre, when we got beat, I think by about 46 in the opening game of that series, and sitting there watching in the fourth quarter, Boston, everything went. Sky hooks, jump shots by even the reserve players kind of made all of us get upset, get our game together.
And how did Pat Riley handle that for the next game?
He made us watch film for the next 3 days. All the bad things that we had done in that game, and just got our minds ready. And we had to play a more physical game, a smarter game, and we were able to do that in game 2.
Here's Pack with a very impressive drive. Robert Pack goes 6'2", 180, but he can soar, as you just saw. Final seconds of the third quarter. The Bulls 104 and the Blazers 68. Michael Jordan with 35 of his 39 in the first half. Chicago with a 38-7 advantage over Portland in this third quarter. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station. Back in Chicago Stadium, Marv Albert, along with Magic Johnson, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad, as we head to the fourth quarter. Game one of the best of 7, game 2 here in Chicago. Friday night will be on hand starting 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Pacific. The game 2 of this best of 7. Well, Michael Jordan has checked back in. We thought perhaps we had seen the last of Jordan in the final minutes of the third. Here's Ainge galloping, and it's tipped home by Bryant.
That's the first time that we saw 5 or 6 passes from the Portland team and ended up in a score. That's what they must do. Pass the ball around 5 or 6 times and then take the shot instead of one pass and shot.
Bulls 104, Blazers 70. Jordan now guarded by Ainge. Livingston, yes, Cliff Livingston, who has shown flashes during the playoffs once again this season, hitting on his first field goal.
And that started out as a Michael Jordan shot attempt, and only because the defense got a hand on it, he was able to recover, get control, and then find a teammate and drop it off at the end to Livingston.
Very poor shooting by O'Brien. Able to hit, crowd wanted to travel. Portland only 5 for 21 in the third quarter. Stacey King not able to hit. Here's Bryant sweeping in. And the Bulls now lead 106-74. Rick Adelman going with Duckworth and Bryant up front. And then he has 3 guards. Watley is out there now with Pack and Ainge. Shot clock at 1. Here's Jordan. Armstrong passing on the 3.
For Chicago, you really only have one guy that can create shots. That's Michael Jordan, and he's not really warmed up yet, so they're going to struggle offensively, this group, for a little while.
Ainge.
But see, I don't know if I like this, because you got a man like Michael Jordan in a groove, in a rhythm. Why not, okay, have a seat for the rest of the night and stay in that groove for next game instead of bringing him out now when he's cold and he's on the floor. That's the second time on the floor. And he may get hurt. He may get out of that rhythm and not carry it over into Friday's game.
I'll try and be Phil Jackson and think for him for a second. The one reason might be because they're so used to running their offense with either Pippen or Jordan, and Pippen was taking his blow. Phil might have thought it was too much time left in the game to let him go without one of them on the court.
Miller Genuine Draft presents Genuine Moments.
Well, tonight's Miller Genuine Draft Genuine Moment occurred in Game 6 of the 1980 NBA Final. Our 20-year-old rookie guard by the name of Magic Johnson stole the show, playing all 5 positions. He produced 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists as the Lakers eliminated the Philadelphia 76ers. And Magic, you took over at center for the most part, as I recall, because of the injury that was suffered by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Exactly, and nobody gave us a chance to win that game, and we did that. And it was just a true great moment in my life, and I'm sure just the Laker players, everybody, we all contributed in one way. Because people forgot Jamal Willis had 38 points in that game.
Well, in recognition of that memorable moment, Miller Genuine Draft will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund.
You know what bothers me? I'm still waiting for my magic moment, and I just can't seem to find one.
We will get to you eventually.
And leading off to what you just said before the timeout about Michael, I understand Coach Jackson's what he wants to do. But what happens is when you come back in, you've been sitting and you're cold. As a player, I know I didn't want to come back in because it's hard for me to get it back going again.
Would you have expressed that? Would you have said, I'd rather sit it out?
Probably not. If you're called to go in and do your job, you go in and do it.
Well, the Bulls lead 106-78. 4 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. King posting. Won't count. Hugh Hollins with the whistle before the shot. It's on Duckworth, his third, and it is a non-shooting foul.
If they're going to win game 2, Kevin Duckworth has to get more shot opportunities. He must be more involved in the offense.
And he opened up involved, and the Trailblazers opened up by hitting their first 7 field goal attempts, and then it all turned around as Michael Jordan went to three-point land, as P.J. Armstrong just did, and the Bulls now lead 109-78.
BJ knows that when Michael has the ball, he just floats to that corner spot, hopes that Michael draws his defensive man in a double team situation. Then it's a matter of knocking out open jump shots because Michael's going to find you and give you the ball.
Wild shot thrown up by Bryant. Wayne Cooper has come on for the first time. Wayne, a 14-year veteran out of the University of New Orleans, and he is guarding King. Here's Scott Williams. Well, we talked about Terry Porter being in the shooter zone. You don't think of Scott Williams as a shooter, but he's in the zone. He's hit 6 of 6. And the foul is called. You know, you break down Michael Jordan's game and what he contributes to the ball club. Check out this equation during the course of the playoffs. He accounts for 34% of the Bulls' points, 11% in terms of assists, which led, as you saw, to 176 points. But in the first half, with that record 35 points, as Ainge is able to bank it home, and Ainge has 8 points. In the first half, with 35 out of Chicago's 66 points, you are talking 65% of the offense.
And what is surprising about the way he did it, not the fact that he accomplished it, because we all knew that he's capable of doing it, but it was all from the outside. 4 points on drives. He had a layup and the follow-up dunk. And the rest of them were jump shots.
I don't think Ennis Watley will want to see that shot on the replay. That's in trouble. So the ball goes back to Portland, but first a timeout taken with 6:23 left in the fourth. Well, we've been talking about the exploits of Michael Jordan, and deservedly so, but the other Chicago Bull who has come through in a major way, Scottie Pippen, while Jerome Kersey has struggled. You recall the last time that Portland played Chicago here in Chicago, which was a blowout for the Bulls, Kersey went 0 for 8 from the field against Chicago.
I thought this would be the key matchup for the series, and I still feel that way. If Pippen is able to dominate Kersey, Portland can forget it. They will have no chance in this series. But if Kersey is able to come back with a strong showing, that will enable the Portland Trailblazers to get into that free-flowing game that they like to play, and that would enable to take some pressure off of Clyde Drexler.
A foul was called on Pack. Will Perdue has checked in for the first time, and now Phil Jackson with a front line of Livingston, King, and Purdue. Armstrong and Hansen are out the guard, so Michael Jordan sits down.
Getting back to that matchup early in the year, back in November, Percy had 21 against Chicago. Pippen had 28 that particular evening as well.
Alejandro Nabi will come on for the first time. Danny Ainge departs. Abdelnaby in his second year out of Duke, who has not been getting the playing time. 5:45 remaining in this fourth quarter. Bobby Hansen getting on his second field goal. He has 5 points, and the Bulls lead 115-80.
See, Portland's got to realize in that thank you for game 2. There's a break right here. Good passing. Stacey misses. Portland has to realize this. They cannot play the Chicago Bulls like they play Utah, like they played the Lakers. They must change their game, because you can't free flow against these Chicago Bulls and just shoot jumpers and just come down and make bad decisions, because the Bulls will turn them into dunks and layups like they have in this game.
They come back at you so quick. You make a mistake, you make a wrong decision, you pay for it quickly.
Armstrong and King able to get the new 24. Well, the Portland Trailblazers knocked off the Lakers 3-1, beat the Phoenix Suns 4-1. Here's Purdue. So Will Purdue, who has seen his playing time diminish, first against the Knicks, then against the Cavaliers, able to hit on his first field goal attempt. Portland Trailblazers, after knocking off the Lakers and the Suns, then beat Utah in 6, bringing them to the NBA Final. Loose ball foul on Stacey King.
Chicago.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, the biggest differential in an NBA Final Series, Washington knocking off Seattle. A 35-point difference. And right here our score is 117-80. Washington beat Seattle 117-82. Purdue is called for the foul. It has not been a happy night for Portland coach Rick Adelman in his 4th season as head coach of the Trailblazers, the first captain of the Portland Trailblazers, an original member of the franchise. He is the NBA's 2nd winningest coach over the last 3 years, behind the Bulls' Phil Jackson.
You know, the reason why Will Purdue's time was cut because Scott Williams has been playing so great. I mean, he's been playing outstanding basketball in all the series even before this one.
Scott Williams emerged last season in the playoffs. You certainly got a taste of it in the series against the Lakers. Livingston able to go glass.
The reason we lost that series was because of the Chicago bench. They outplayed and dominated our bench.
Both Livingston and Williams came on in the championship series against the Lakers. Here's Livingston from Armstrong. The Bulls lead 121-82.
You know, I kind of see a lot of confusion going on with the Portland team. They don't know what quite they want to run, and they got different guys not in the position they're supposed to be in.
I think you were right on target earlier, though, where Portland was in the process of being blown out early 3rd quarter, but they continued to fire up from all angles rather than go to either pounding it inside or, on the other hand, trying to work on something that might help Friday night. Timeout has been called by the Blazers with 2:56 remaining in the 4th. The Portland Trailblazers and the Chicago Bulls resume with Game 2 of this best-of-7 championship series here on NBC Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. That'll be Friday night, game 2 of the series. Stacey King on the foul line. The biggest lead of the night, a 38-point margin. The Bulls right here lead by 37. The all-time record, largest differential in an NBA Finals game, 35 points. Washington doing it against Seattle back in '78.
And I think our total was 33 against the Celtics. We're right up there too, I think.
Quick research tells me yes.
But let's remind the fans that we lost that game by 33. We ended up winning the series. So this series is way from being over. One game is only one game, and that's what the Portland Trailblazers have to keep in mind.
Exactly why you have a 7-game series. So if you run into something like this, you forget it, you put it behind, you learn from it, you make your adjustments, and you show up on a new night with a different energy level, perhaps new concentration, and a few wrinkles here or there.
There'll be a lot of tape watching tomorrow. You can believe that on that Portland Trailblazers.
And you wonder what wrinkles Rick Adelman can come up with against Michael Jordan. As you mentioned, Mike, very little he can do when Jordan is sitting from long range, 6 for 10 from three-point land, but I would think there will be a slightly different approach.
I would think we'll see a little bit more aggressive Portland defense, perhaps a little more trapping, getting out and denying, overplaying a little bit more, maybe go to their half-court trap that they have used at times in the past to take Chicago out of running their offense as smoothly and as well as they do.
And a lot more passes on offense instead of one pass or no passes and shot attempt by the Portland Trailblazers. You'll probably see them slow the game down a little bit more.
How many times do you hear coaches say, are we running our one-pass offense tonight?
So the ball goes back to Chicago on a night that has seen Michael Jordan come through with one of the great NBA final performances, 35 points in the first half, and that is a new record. Here's Bryant, and Bryant gets it back. Very persistent and able to hit the Bulls. 122 and the Blazers 87. Portland has turned it over 20 times.
And off those 20, I would believe that Chicago has scored maybe 15 times off those 20 turnovers.
Nice give and go between Hansen and Purdue is fouled.
And you know what happens? Guys get to know each other in practice, and that's why that give and go was nice. You can tell that they were looking at each other and say, okay, I'm a back door, but I'm going to look for you, Will, when I get it. And they work that to perfection, the give and go. Young people out there should watch Bob Hansen and Will Perdue on that play, because that's what basketball is all about.
To me, one of the nice things about having a few days off before you start a championship series is you really notice what the points of emphasis are for the various teams, what the coaches have been emphasizing in their practice sessions. With Chicago, you knew it was offensive execution and spacing. They kept moving out behind the three-point line.
Off the travel. Chicago gets it back as we approach 1 minute remaining in this fourth quarter. The capacity crowd has been filing out right throughout the quarter. An enormous night for the defending NBA champion Chicago Bulls. Here's Purdue, wild shot. Livingston with the save off the face of Purdue. To check out the description of that on the Will 1-900 number that he has going here in Chicago. I have a feeling he'll be dealing with that. The steal by Watley puts the move on, and Armstrong gets it back.
To tell you how good the Chicago team defense has been tonight, Portland came in here averaging 115 points in the playoff. Tonight, only 89. That's how good the Chicago defense has been tonight.
And Pack was stopped by King. It'll be Chicago possession.
Show you a veteran, smart player. That time, Hansen had a wide-open three-point shot. The crowd yelled for him to shoot it. He knows he doesn't want to rub any dirt in their face. They got to play the rest of the games. He just backed it out, swung the ball.
Standing ovation for the Bulls, who are just running the clock down with that 122-89 lead. Shot clock down to 1. Livingston for 3. And that will do it. The only consolation, it's a 33-point differential, which is 2 points shy of the largest margin of victory in an NBA Finals game. The Bulls take game 1, led by Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. They do it 122-89. We'll be back in a moment. The Chicago Bulls defeating the Portland Trailblazers in a romp, 122-89. Michael Jordan, 39 points, an NBA Finals game record 35 in the first half. Let's go to Ahmad, who has Michael Jordan alongside him.
All right, thanks, Marv. Michael, if you guys were trying to come out here and make a statement this evening, I'd say you did it with an exclamation point.
Well, I don't think you can make a statement in the finals. I mean, this is just one game, and one game doesn't make a final. But we wanted to get out of the blocks quick. We got to defend our home court, because we got 3 games out there, so that can make a big difference if they come in and get one.
What about you in the first half? You shot 6 3-pointers, set a league record. You were in a zone.
I was in the zone. My threes felt like free throws, man. I really didn't know what I was doing, but I was taking them, and they was going in. So, that really helped the game.
Must have been the working out we did this morning. All right, congratulations, Mike. Back to you, Marv.
Yes, that was it. The fine work done by Ahmad with Michael. And here is Michael, after hitting a 3-pointer, looking over at you, Magic, and giving the indication that he is bewildered by that hot shooting